Okay, I'm prowling around Atwood Avenue and looking at all the wonderful little free libraries. I found this beautiful State Street coloring book by Doug Haynes. And I mean, the artwork is just incredible. And I feel like this was a Christmas present that whoever put this in the little free library.
Very lucky.
Very lucky. But I'm even more lucky because I get to sit here in the home studio with the artist himself. Thank you so much for being willing to chat with me. I'm so excited to meet you.
Oh, sure.
So, I mean, I feel like I have so many questions, but I would love to know just your backstory as an artist, and then we can just kind of go from there. Does that sound okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Madison is my hometown, and State Street is kind of my backyard. I had a fondness for State Street since I was quite young.
Did you grow up here?
I grew up here. I went to West High School.
Wow.
I went off to college elsewhere just to see the world, but then I've been back for a long time. And,
Okay.
I found myself during the pandemic. I was a teacher, and I no longer had my commutes to school because I was doing the video lessons over Zoom, and so I'd been used to biking like 45 minutes to school every day, and so that's like extra time, and I thought, and I'm also I was a half-time teacher, so I had time to devote to art, and I at first I was quite cautious about pandemic, so I was painting little still lifes here in the house, and very safe, and eventually I just started wandering out and sketching downtown or things, and I was curious about State Street because there had been like George Floyd, and there had been Black Lives Matter things, and so then hang on, let me take this.
Sure.
You both?
Yeah, I'm heading home now. I'm just leaving my school, so I'll be walking to the carnival, whatever carnival.
Yeah.
And then I'll take a bus. So
Okay.
I want you to have a good interview.
Oh, thank you. Do you want to say hi to the Christina? She's right here.
Hi there.
Okay.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, Christina.
Hi. Nice to meet you over the phone.
Yeah, Doug was really excited to
Oh,
have you today.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well, I'm very excited too. Yeah. Yeah.
I hear you'll be going to Alaska soon.
Yep, I'll be going home hopefully in the next couple of days.
Oh, that's your home.
Yeah, and I'm driving, so yep.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay. It sounds like if you're celebrating any Lunar New Year, tomorrow is our Lunar New Year.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So you are, from my perspective, you are going home for the Lunar New Year.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, well, where did you put the rice cake? I should give her a rice cake.
Yeah, that's in our living room on top of that table.
Okay, I'll get her some.
You know what I'm saying, Nick? Just in front of that eastern window.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see that blue one?
Oh, come and talk to her. Yeah.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, and also have a good journey home.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll see you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Okay. So you were So you were in your house, and then you wandered out to State Street.
So, actually, what happened was, in like around September, it was near my dad's birthday. He passed away, and so then, like, I kind of took a break from the art for a few months. There was a lot to do, and like funeral and obituary and stuff like that. And then when I re-entered that, it was around must have been November or so, I started, I went down to State Street and I had this paper, and it was a little bit larger than the watercolor paper I'd been using before. And so I got a sketch done in the time that usually would have taken me to put paint on it too, because the paper had been this and it was this now, and so
Okay.
I just ran out of time and I was like, oh, I failed, I didn't do very well. But then I got it home and it's like, this is a nice sketch, I should do something, and then I just went back again and again, and like, maybe I could make a calendar, maybe if I get 12, I could make a calendar, and
Yeah.
then it just kind of like, I just was on a roll,
Evolved
and I
to
kept going.
To the
and-
coloring book, yeah. I mean,
And they're all dated. They have a date in the corner.
Okay.
That tells the date, like, and this particular one, I intentionally made a double page spread, and it was super cold that day. And a double page spread takes twice as long as it's big,
So tell me about this. Can you just kind of walk me through this one?
So I actually made a special board that was big enough to support a longer sheet of paper,
Okay.
and I carried it down with the paper, and I set up on a snowbank, and I have I'm wearing pretty warm clothes, and I've got even gloves, and it was like 25 degrees maybe, or something like that. It was just a little colder than some of the other days I've been out there, but I just kept working on it, and I'd break, and I went and got some coffee, and then I came back, and I get up and jump around, and that helped a little bit. But at the very end, I took some photographs just to as a reference after and my camera died right away. It's just the battery wasn't happy with
So
the cold
when
weather.
on this piece,
Yeah.
where did you start?
So, gosh, I'm pretty sure I might have. That's a good question. I might have gone from the middle out.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
I know that there was a failed first version on a different sheet of paper that I like, this isn't working, and I put it away because I had two sheets. And this one worked. Once I I think the first version misjudged how far I could go with it, or the proportions or something.
Sure.
And so then I redid it. And
Okay. Is that a common occurrence, or are you?
not always.
No,
No.
okay.
Sometimes I get it. I'm pretty good at these now. It takes a long time to do it. It takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours. This one might have been more than that. Might have been 2.5 hours.
I love all of them. There's another one here that I lived in Brooklyn for a time. We don't have public transportation in Alaska.
Yeah.
I mean, not in my town.
Yeah.
But this bus one.
Isn't that fun? So if you look there, do you see what that is?
Oh, gloves.
That's Bernie's mittens.
Oh,
Do you remember those?
yes, I do.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I do.
This is, if you look at the date, it's right around the time of that.
February. Yep. That's awesome. I love it.
But so to do this one, I started I got on a bus, and it was at the Union. And I'm like, oh, I can sketch here. I can make the bus the bus interior. I was doing it separately from the exterior. The bus interior was the first piece.
Okay.
And I got on the bus, and I'm like, I bet he'll sit here a long time before it's time to go. And I would get going, and suddenly he's like, okay, the bus gotta go. And so then you know how Observatory Drive kind of winds around, and we're going up and over the hill, and I'm like, oh, I don't feel so good. But I did it pretty quick.
Did these guys stay on the bus the whole time? Is that how you...
This is me, actually.
Oh, it is?
That's me. No, this one's there. Sorry.
Okay.
With that hat. And then this guy was here. Yeah, he was just sitting on the bus.
And is this your sketch paper in your hand? No.
Yeah.
What does that say?
No, that's an iPad, I think. And it says
Emerald.
Emerald Studio.
Emerald Studio. That's you.
That's my website. Yeah.
Oh, this is great.
And so then I got up right about where Allen Gardens is. It's still on campus, so I didn't go too
Okay.
far.
Okay.
And I got off in a hurry because I was starting to feel queasy. And I left my gloves on the bus. They weren't these gloves, but,
But I love that
was
you
like-
did that.
I was just kind of like. So
You
then I
did
went back to State Street, and
Mhm.
I sat down on the curb and I tried to sketch this, and I tried to pretend like I was in the middle of the street because the perspective is the middle of the street. You're looking out the bus window,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but I couldn't get it. And so then I like waited for traffic to let up, and then I walked in the middle of the street and I shot it with my phone. And then I took it home and I sketched
You
it.
sketched it.
And then those two drawings, I put them in Photoshop, and,
Okay.
and I like put them together in Photoshop so that you have the interior with the exterior.
Now, are you self-taught? Are you art? Did you go to school for art?
I have 3 degrees. I have art, visual art,
Okay.
where I was a potter.
Oh,
And
okay.
I did. I actually, Don Hunt was my pottery teacher in West High School. He was a huge influence, and he kind of like got me going, and I was very passionate about it for a long time.
Okay.
But eventually, I moved on from pottery and more painting and 2D and stuff.
So,
But then I also have art education, which
Okay.
I don't really use. I'm not an art teacher these days.
and were you really creative then? Did you come from a creative family? Were you always drawing and, Painting
I was,
and-
yeah. Even as a little kid, I was loved to draw.
okay.
My
Now-
father is an architect. And
And this book, so these are sketches,
Hmm.
but you're actually most known as a painter, right?
I don't know what I'm most known for.
Also
I
known
think
as.
I'm most known for like not being like consistent or like following any rule or pattern.
Well, that's
or
a creative
anything.
personality, right? I'm all
It's-
over the
I don't
place.
know, it's just, I mean, some creative people can really like
Yeah,
put out a
focus in,
product
yeah.
and it's like consistent and it's like the same, it's like, you look at it, it's like, oh, that's a Van Gogh. I know it, I just know it because it looks like a Van, all the Van Goghs look like that, or whatever,
No one's saying, "Oh, that's a Doug Haynes."
It's just, I'm fairly loose about what I do or the way I do it, and so it's
Okay.
different a lot of times. And
But right now, so you draw.
I
You
do a lot
paint?
of drawing and a lot of watercolor these days.
Well,
but
okay.
I've worked in acrylic and I tried stained glass and I've sewn a few things, and it's
Oh,
just
really?
just
Okay.
kind of like whatever's looks interesting. I'm up for it,
Okay. Well, I saw on your website that you have a show coming up.
Yes.
Can
yeah.
you chat about that a little bit?
Oh, sure. I will. In March, I'm showing at the Neighborhood House, which is just on Mills here, and I have a fondness for that place because my daughter. There was a play group for little kids when my daughter was like, she was 2 or 3 or 4, and she went there. And but the last summer, I got a colleague or a friend of mine just up the street here told me, oh, we're trying to do this selfie station for the neighborhood house, and would you be willing to like do the design? And so then I made the selfie station, which is at the it's planted in front of a. They're also at the same time they're putting in a prairie garden in front. So it's this image of flowers and insects. And,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of little holes where you can stick your head through and be the ant
Oh,
or the
I see.
bee or
Okay.
the
Okay. Yeah.
the whatever flower and I have here I have. This is something you can keep.
Oh.
This is our family news, and
Oh.
on the back is the selfie station right there.
Oh my gosh! But I love that you have a family.
Yeah, that's the
News
Hensley
center.
News.
Oh, I love it.
Um,
Doug makes lemonade from unexpected lemons.
Oh, that's a long. You'll have to read that story.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so this is,
So
and you
that's
shift from teaching to art making. Okay, so,
yeah. This documents my retirement from teaching. But anyway,
oh, that's great. Look
so
at
the
that.
theme of the show is art for the community.
Yeah,
So this neighborhood mural is one of them. It's designed to engage the community in the neighborhood house and the prayer they've got.
that's
And just
wonderful.
have fun.
And so the show in March is,
So that's one of the pieces that'll be featured.
okay,
I also have a 16-foot long image that was created in Photoshop, and it's drawn from images from this area, from this block,
Okay.
basically. It's a winter scene. It's kind of fun.
hmm,
I'll be featuring a mural I did for First Baptist Church. I have several videos that I wanted to include, and I think I'll just have to put a QR code in. People can watch the videos, and there's between 6 and 20-minute long videos. And
okay,
one documents a dancer, and another is about dinosaurs playing chess, and one is about
that sounds
because
very
I
fun.
was the chess kind of the organizer for the elementary school.
Okay, oh, you were an elementary school teacher.
I was a ESL teacher at Orchard Ridge Elementary
Oh, when did you retire?
School. This last summer.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank
So
you.
you're a full-time working artist now, or part-time working artist, or full-time working artist? And so you have your work, do you have open house, this is your house and your studio?
So, like, for example, in October, I painted a watercolor every day for the entire month. And then in November, in the middle of November, we opened the house and had the sale for those images. And in fact, it was structured as a CSA, which in this case stands for Community Supported Art.
Yep,
And we,
yep.
a share was $100, and so you could buy a share, and your name would be put in the hat, and then on the day of the CSA party, we'd draw names out of the hat, and when your name came up, you claimed your share in the CSA. And I only sold 15 of the 31 shares. I mean, 15 shares out of 31 paintings to make sure that nobody was disappointed in their name being the last out of the hat. And they weren't. They were quite pleased with what
So,
they got.
so you have a room here that's your studio. This isn't a place where people come in and see your work. You don't have like an open house on the weekend and.
You know,
It's
I
not-
don't have any hours.
it's not like
for it.
that. Okay.
I've definitely welcomed many people in
Oh,
my
okay,
home and
okay. Huh.
had people come and share it. I mean, there's a lot of work on the website.
Yeah,
There's
Have you ever had a studio outside of the house?
no.
Okay,
I haven't.
okay.
And I mean, and a lot of the work isn't done in the studio. It's often I've been working on location,
Okay.
plein air, and although some things I do in the studio. Would you like to see some? I have a working space in the basement and also in the attic.
I would love to see whatever you want to show me.
Okay.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, come.
Is it okay to keep recording?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
It's a little bit chilly down here.
And your wife, sidebar, but your wife is Korean. How did you and your wife, and her name is Jun
Jungja.
Junjun. How did you guys meet?
We met on Johnson Street. Well,
Oh, not even, I thought you were abroad, but no.
She's a student here, and I was getting some. I was between degrees. I was here, and I was. Anyway,
Oh, look at this.
we've been.
You met on the street. I love it.
No, we met at Wayland House, which is no
Oh.
longer there. It was a Christian community for students, and anyway, we've been married for 37 years now.
Congratulations. So you mentioned you sew.
Yeah, there's too many. There's one, two,
Yeah. Well, I saw
three,
this. Yeah.
four sewing
Four?
machines down
Wow.
here. There's another one in the attic, and then another one in. There's too many sewing machines, really. I got rid of a few, but
What
they
do you
keep
sew?
coming.
Is this something that you sewed?
No, this
That's
is
a quilting?
something I've used as a still life prop.
Okay.
It's from here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know. I've got a car in the garage that needs new upholstery, and I haven't gotten around to it.
Doing your own upholstery. I love it. So this is a work in progress?
This okay. Oh, so this is a picture of the Capitol, at Christmas time with the tree.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have this work was a lunch. This is my wife.
Mm-hmm.
This is Jean. It was a delicious meal. I never got around to putting color in it. I should do that.
So are you, like, when I'm out with people and I'm always like we had lunch today and I'm like, hold on, I'm just going to go take a few photos. And they're like, oh, roll their eyes. Are you always like, do you always have your paper with you and your pencil when you're out? Or you always
it's very, I try not to inconvenience people with my art making, but you know, they were already digging in and I finished in time to eat the meal myself too.
And I'm guessing that people hang out with you long enough, they know that they're going to basically become a model.
It doesn't always happen that way, really. But, yeah, let me show you some others.
Now, is this finished, the Capitol piece? Are you feeling like it's finished?
I have an idea to make a coloring book of Capitol
Yeah, it's a
art,
great idea.
and that might
Yeah.
be.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
This is a self-portrait.
There's a lot of detail.
I'm quite happy with it so far. And that makes it even harder because then, like, when you're happy with it at this point, and then like adding color becomes anxiety-ridden. But it says a lot about me. This particular piece has a lot of my life in it.
Can you tell me a little bit?
Let's see. Well, me and my wife, and this is a postcard of a drawing I did. It's a postcard I got over here. That was the night that my father died, and I painted. It was a huge storm, like at 3 in the morning. And I was giving him this medicine for the palliative care. It was very intimate, and just I was glad to be with him at that last moment of his life. So that appears like right there. This is it's a zine called Humanities Building. Do you love it or hate it? And it's I've done 100 sketches of the Humanities Building. I tend to make a book out of those images. Right now they're just sitting in the attic because I'm busy with other projects. This one's a letter addressed to my daughter. Some origami that I made, my business card. This is a little Matchbox car, but it's the car I learned to drive on when I was years old.
What's the dinosaur in the chest set there?
Oh, well, chess with dinosaurs is a video. I mean. But yeah, I was chess person at Orchard Ridge, and I did a series of dinosaur paintings. Fine Art Post is a website that I do for artists. I create artist websites.
Oh, wow, that's another thing you do. Gosh almighty, you're busy.
This is a photo album. This is the 2021 photo album. I do one every year. Oh, this is an old truck that where I learned. This is the truck I learned to drive stick on. This is a '79 Datsun. I don't have any more. I wish I did still. This is the State Street coloring book. That Tao Te Ching is a book that Don Hunt kind of introduced me to. This is my Korean study. This is PHP and MySQL, which is what I use to to do the fine art posters.
Wow, that's very creative.
And it was just
I
try to
love all
pack
the
it all in there.
elements. Yeah.
And
Well-
you can't really see the colors, but this chest had I hand painted different colors on the panels of it.
And when you're doing acrylics?
That's gonna be watercolor.
Oh, watercolor. It's going to be watercolor. Okay.
Oh, this is an award that I won up here for the Wisconsin Digital Artist Series. Looking for the
Wow.
years.
Oh, thank you for sharing that with me. That's
Yeah.
a really sweet piece. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the mural, the mock-up for the mural that's at the First Baptist Church. It's like 14 feet long,
Mm-hmm.
10 feet tall, or something like
So what haven't we talked about, you and your is there anything you do creatively we haven't talked about yet?
that. Well, the thing that I'm currently working on is also a coloring book. I'm not sure if it's a coloring book or an illustrated history, but working on an illustrated history of the Republican Party.
Oh.
And this is an event that happened in the 1850s, and it's about the Fugitive Slave Act and this guy who rode like a revere through Milwaukee saying, "Freedmen to the rescue!" and then he got this guy out of jail who went off to Underground Railroad to Canada, and then he got put in jail.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working on it's kind of a new kind of thing that I'm doing here. I haven't done a lot of political art like that. I'm kind of, it's a fascinating topic. I feel like the Republican Party, well, they began in Wisconsin, and they had some amazing starts, and then there's stuff that I'm not so admirable of. So we got Trump and Hillary who are giving big tax cuts, and
Mm-hmm.
we got Tommy Thompson getting
Mm-hmm.
partial veto.
Mm-hmm.
What's this? Oh, this is there's a book called The Wisconsin Idea. That was published early part of, like 1911, I think, or something like that. It was kind of an influential book.
So are you your process? I'm intrigued. It sounds like you are working on a lot of things at the same time.
Well, there's definitely unfinished projects that kind of pile up and don't, like, this one is pushed to the front because there's some self-imposed deadlines for me.
Okay.
Like the Republicans are coming to Wisconsin for a convention this summer.
Uh-huh.
So then I ought to get this ready
Right,
by
by then. Mm-hmm.
And whereas the Humanities Building probably won't be demolished for a few more years, and so I can kind of hold that for a little bit.
So are you, it sounds like, I don't want to put words up there. Your art is art for art's sake, and then it's also sharing messages. Is that a correct way to put it, or that's like a...
Yeah, so art for art's sake sounds a little like I'm like not.
Yeah, I didn't like the way I said
commercial
that.
aspect
Yeah,
of
no.
things, and there's definitely a need to like meet the consumer or just find an audience in a way that I think that's important in some ways, and but at the same time I don't want to pander to an audience in that way, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm really making things that are from my heart.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I write for my newspaper back home, and one of the stories I write every week is an arts feature, so I interview local artists. And my story that came out this week was a woman who she does wood sculpting, and she's climate change is something that's really weighs on her. And So one of the quotes she gave me was that how does she say that? Beyond showing her work to like an audience, she wants it to be impactful.
Yeah.
She wants people to see her work and consider or contemplate, our place in the environment, our reaction to that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So it seems like you have a voice to share.
So, like, I've been a teacher for a long time, and part of me doesn't feel like I need to be the one to tell people how they should think.
Mm-hmm.
That's like important. I think that people will make their own conclusions, and I just hope that whatever I do draws them closer to, ask them serious questions that they can answer themselves, and that's different than like something that's very didactic and says you're wrong and you got to do this or whatever, and that's that's why I think the State Street coloring book doesn't try to send a direct message.
Mm-hmm.
It just tries to like express what's there.
Yeah, it's like you're capturing a moment in time.
Yeah.
People, yeah. Do you have a favorite? That's always a tough thing to ask people, but is there, even in your coloring book, is there a one that's...
Can I show you some of the pages?
Sure. I'm not going to say no to anything you want to show me, so...
Oh, you should also look at Self-Portrait with a Crab.
I should look at what?
Do you want to look at that first? Or
you surprised me.
Oh.
I heard Self-Portrait with a Crab, I think.
Yeah, this is Self-Portrait with a Crab. This is a book that I prepared in '87, and I had just gone through chemo, or I was going through chemo, and I drew a picture of myself every day for the whole time that I was doing chemo, and so then I also wrote journals, and it came together in this book, and this did not, publishers weren't picking it up, and I just left it, and then my computer crashed, and so I don't have the original, like the files for it. I have a PDF of it, but I have to rebuild the book, and that's my intent, is to rebuild it and publish that at some point.
And the crab?
Oh, so cancer is the Greek word for crab, because, yeah, it's the so that's why the zodiac sign is called Cancer, is a crab. Apparently, the if you look at it, when a Cancer close up, it has like crab legs or something on the end of it, so that's how they call it.
Can we look inside?
Oh, sure.
You're okay now?
Oh yeah.
Healthy?
This was '86 that I had cancer. So I had this little crab, and I drew a picture of myself, and then the crab died, which is like a foreshadowing of cancer or whatever. These are some sketches, drawings of our house at the time, and then I had this journal, and I kind of, it's divided into these journal entries plus the self-portraits that I had. This is a key.
Wow, this is powerful, gosh. Mm-hmm.
And I tried to do a lot of different things. This is a self-portrait of me as through my daughter.
Oh, see, that's how I draw people.
No, she was 6 at the time.
Oh, it's beautiful. You've got her, yeah.
And so just, it kind of tells the story. Cancer is like something your body's going through, but you're also like, there's a lot of psychology, like how you're reacting to it.
Sure, yeah.
I think my grandfather looks a lot like me.
Yeah.
This is a self-portrait through like what my studio looked like at that time.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
We talked about my diet in the journal.
Wow. And have you always, I know you've been, drawing since you were a kid, but have you, sketching, is that something, do you ever just sit and apply paint to a canvas, or are you always painting?
Oh, without
On the
painting
drawing.
without a drawing.
Yeah.
That's not my style.
So you're
I feel like the sketch is like the bones of
okay.
a work, and
Okay.
without if you just had a skin without bones, you
sure.
kind of fall apart.
Okay. Okay.
So, and I don't know. I take a lot of pleasure in drawing. It's fascinating. I mean, you sit in a room and you see yourself and you see your wife and you see her there reflected in the mirror, and your daughter, and all the art that you've got in the house too. It's just kind of.
So you're my friends, when I'm out hiking or whatnot, always say to me, "Wow, as a photographer, you have a keen sense of observation. Your observation skills must just be through the roof."
Well, that's kind of you to say. It's fun to do. It's just like, I mean, this kind of distortion stuff is just kind of like interesting to me.
Is there anything you've always wanted to draw that you haven't yet drawn?
I see stuff. Sometimes I've been watching like Instagram and things like that, and I see some of the works on there, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could do something like that. This was actually that self-portrait that you saw was inspired by, and it wasn't like anything like the thing I saw on Instagram. It was just like that. I'm looking at somebody pushing themselves and really like trying to do something amazing, and I'm like, I have to get out there and do it. I can't just sit back and wait.
You don't feel like you're doing that already?
I mean, there's days where you're lazy or whatever,
Sure. Yeah.
You have to constantly push to make things.
And are you down in your studio every day, or up in your other studio every day?
So yeah, I've been since the retirement. I'm pretty much. I mean, I have a life-work balance, I think, because I'm like, with my wife, we bike to school, to her school together, and then I bike home to start work.
She's also a teacher?
She's a bilingual resource specialist.
Okay.
I'm sure. But yeah, so and she takes Tuesdays off, so I take Tuesdays off.
Oh, good. Oh, that's great. No, I love it. This is so fun.
Yeah.
This is wonderful.
You were asking about a favorite drawing in the coloring book?
Yeah, let's talk about this coloring book.
Now this might be one of, if I got it from here, it might be a misprint, so don't be shocked.
Okay.
This is a unique view of the orphan because it's from behind, and I kind of found that fascinating. This is the first one.
That's the first sketch you did.
I'm pretty sure November 3rd, yeah. And like, I enjoyed lining up the exterior view of this, the interior view, because this cafe is up here.
Oh, fascinating, yeah.
And I did that with another piece where we're in that restaurant, and outside here's these windows.
Oh, are those windows?
there.
Yeah.
And that's my hat and my gloves. And this is the sketch of this sitting on the table. And the glasses are there. So whatever I ordered so that I could be justified to work there.
Not just taking up a seat.
You're right.
You mentioned this a little earlier, but just tell me again. So are you sitting at this restaurant and you're doing this sketch? Basically, you've completed it. You might come home and do some more shading or whatever. Or
the shading is done on the computer.
Okay.
This was done on the computer after the sketch was.
Okay.
Was,
but are you primarily finishing the sketch on site?
Yeah.
Okay. See, got it. Wow.
This one, it took some wrangling to get up to the top of this this building to get the panoramic view. I had to like tell them that they're. And this is interesting. The day I was there, that was Biden had won. They had been declared the winner, and all these people were streaming downtown. Kind of spontaneous.
I love your figures. I love the forms, the way you've drawn them.
This is the building where I was up on top looking at the Capitol.
Okay. The overture. Yeah.
This is a maze where you have to find your way from the gallery to your seat in the upper place. This I do like this piece a lot.
I like it a lot. Yeah.
Oh, here's one I really enjoyed. This is myself as a rabbit sketching for the State Street coloring book. So it's descriptive. I wake up, my wife is the horse, I'm the rabbit, get dressed, and then, here I eat breakfast and brush my teeth, and then I kind of get dressed and pack my bag to go and bike to downtown, sketch, or unpack my pencils and pillow and paper and all that, sketch, and then bike home, show my wife the drawing, photograph it, and then text the image to my daughter, and then we look at it together on the computer.
Your daughter's the dragon?
Yeah, she's a dragon. These are Asian zodiac signs. It's time to go to bed.
And you go to bed.
And this is that panoramic scene.
You're dreaming about it.
Yeah.
So are you so well known here that, like, if you're out in a restaurant or on the street, people know?
No.
No? Oh,
I
really?
can get away with it.
Oh.
It's a secret identity. Clark Kent. This is also from up on top of that building.
And you incorporated.
Yeah, I hired
writing.
him to. He's a poet for hire, and I got him to write a State Street poem.
Okay.
He brings his old manual typewriter to public spaces, and he'll anybody approach him and ask him for a poem, and he'll create.
Wow, cool.
This is a beautiful one. This is this snowy night. And this is like a contrast, because this is the last one I did. It's in May, and you can see the flowers, the graduation rooms. This is a made-up one of a fire that happened in 1904. Capitol Bridge. This one I made is find 20 differences.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And the answers are in the back. They're they're printed upside down. They're like these are the answers to the puzzles. Oh, and this one is an opportunity to make your own mural to fit on there.
Yeah, I love it. Very creative.
The very last page, this is the future of State Street. Some imagined dark future where in December we have rain, because we had tornadoes yesterday. We're not supposed to have tornadoes in February. It's just, but this was I just enjoyed making flying bicycles and skyscrapers in Madison, and the aliens and the time travel and the future cars.
Wow, fascinating. So how many drawings do you have in the coloring book? I was counting them.
How many did you count?
Well, that was when I first found it, which was like 3 weeks ago. Now I'm forgetting.
It's over 30 or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, 35 or 36.
35,
Yeah. Well, I don't know who put your book in a little free library.
Oh, this is a fun one.
But I'm like,
this has pins for all of the drawings.
oh.
And then
yeah.
This here would correspond to one of the pins.
Yep, I remember. Yeah.
It has a picture of me doing the drawing.
I love it because I've looked at all of these, but not at the length to which you're sharing, and because I'm not as familiar with State Street as you are. But I feel like whoever got this little coloring book and put it in a little free library, I got 36 or 37 original, well, not original, but I got 36 of your pieces of work. So I felt when I found it, I was like a kid in a candy store. I was like, are you kidding me?
That's a really good blessing you got.
Yeah. Well, and getting to meet you and spend so much, thank you. This has been wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to share about, I mean, I know can't possibly in this amount of time frame catch everything, but is there anything that you're inclined right now to feel like?
Oh, I just, I'm really, it's an adventure for me, and I hope it's a discovery for people like yourself, you know.
Well, your passion, your joy comes through for what you do. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to wrap it up? Does that sound
Yeah,
good?
that's-
Okay, let's go finish our tea. Thank you, Doug.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.